Well, okay. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Slick Sinister here, and in this video or broadcast, I'm going to be going over some offensive options with Steve Fox. Now, I see in general, people tend to have an issue or frustration with how to create offense or maintain offense, especially with certain characters in this game. So gradually over time, I'll cover some other ones, but for now, I'm going to get right into it with the bridge boxer right here. Now, just a heads up, I do use some Tekken lingo or jargon. So if you're not familiar with button notations or certain acronyms for moves, this might not be for you right now. For the rest of you, let's get into it, shall we? Now, the first move we're going to cover is just your standard jab. Now, not too much to explain. You have enough advantage to where you can do other pokes, like it's down 4-1, back 1, down 1, down 4-2, even though it's slightly slower, and at times down 2-1. And also, I'm going to be covering those moves as well throughout this video. Now, I'm going to continue to his 1-2-1. Now, it's a natural string. It jails on block, so they can't duck it. If you go into flicker, it gives a slight disadvantage, but it makes it safe. And you can flip and cancel afterwards. Do it correctly, there we go, to keep on moving. Or you can do 1, 2, 3 flicker and go on to duck cancel or sways, like so. Now I'm going to continue with another move, which is 1-1-2, which is his jab punish. You can see it does a decent amount of damage at 29. And you can go into sways afterwards, whether back sway, left right weave, or duck cancel. I will also show you around this move here, down forward 1. Down forward 1 has certain follow-up up round move. You can go into different ducks after down forward 1. You can go into flicker after down forward 1. And you can cancel out of it to keep on moving. We'll also cover 2-1, which actually gives him a slight frame advantage on block. And we're going to cover back 1 as well. Now, I'm going to switch these characters around. Just give me one moment. I'm going to pick Law, because Law has certain attacks at certain frames that I'm looking for. And I'm going to pick Steve as the second player. So I'm going to run through some recordings just to show you what to look out for or what you should be aiming for. Let's give Tekken a moment to switch everything up. Come on, alright, there we go. Now I'll be using Law to move around and give you an example of what you can do. I'm going to set Steve to repeat and record my moves. Now, of course, we can record jabs and to down forward 1. And of course, on hit, can't really do nothing. On block, it might trade, but that's still a small trade in comparison to other stuff. Because if you notice, I might can get a jab or squeeze in there, but I can't do next 4 parking trade. I can't do down 4-2. I can't do back 4, which is 14. Down 4-2, which is 15. So most of the moves that I can do on Steve right now are going to be a standing 4 and jab. Now, if I go to down forward 1 by itself into the series, I'm going to start by doing down forward 1-2-1 into flicker. Come on, 1, flicker, stop, restart it. So here we go for on block purposes. Down forward 1-2-1 flicker. Okay, the jab will beat that out. Magic 4 beats that out. Back 4 does not beat that out. Let's see. Standing 3 will trade. Down 4-1 won't beat that out. Neither will both kicks. Neither will down 4-2. Now, That might not seem like a lot, but as a Steve player, that pretty much lets you know that in that scenario, most of the punishment is going to be minor, minus the magic 4. And if your opponent goes for anything other than magic 4, that's going to be a counter hit from Flicker. Flicker Jabs come out pretty fast at about 12 frames. Even though there's a slight advantage or disadvantage, a lot of the punishment options from your opponent are going to be very small. And you're going to start seeing that once I cycle through the rest of the moves here. So now I'm going to go through down forward 2, which is slightly slower, but just to give you an example of that. Now, if I do down forward 2, wrong move there. If I do down forward 2 and the duck 1, come on, let's get with it. Down forward 2 and duck 1. Now on block, it's bad, but I get punished by pretty much everything. As you can see here. Oh, let me try both kicks. That punishes that. Even somersault punishes that. Now I'm gonna show you what happens on hit. If I try to do anything, that happens. I can't crouch jab. I can't standing jab, which means I can't do anything else here that I'm trying to do. I can't do launchers, down forward 2. The most an opponent can do, if they have it, they can reverse. But usually that's right about it. Now I'll go to another option that they can't interrupt. If you want to be a little scumbag about it, I'm gonna restart. I'm gonna record something else. I'm going to do Steve's Duck 2 and cancel into Wall Rising 2. So I'm going to do down forward 2, duck cancel, Wall Rising 2. Down forward 2, duck cancel, Wall Rising 2. Now I'm going to do this on hit just to show you what he has. Now I tried to crouch jab right there. Let me do it again. Straight counter hit. So if a crouch jab isn't bothering that and a standing jab doesn't beat it out, pretty much I'm trying to magic 4 and do other quicker options like standing 3, standing 4. All of that's beat out by that on hit. Now Steve players, if they do block your down forward 2, it's best to duck cancel to make it safe. Because down forward 2 without a cancel is punishable on block. And so even if you do duck cancel to make it safe, be careful because you're at extreme disadvantage on block. You're not punishable, but you can't really press anything. And I'll show you why. I'm gonna do the same scenario, but this time I'm just gonna block. Block it down forward 2. Bam. Same thing with the magic 4. Now forward 1. Let's see if I can go a little crazier. See, hop kick and somersault. So on block, it's your best bet to just block if you notice you're down for a 2 block. Here's what happens if you block, if you cancel and don't do anything. Now I'm gonna set that back. Oh, come on now, man, go. Let's go, let's see. Come on. Let's set this again for recording. Now that's just duck canceling. Now if I just duck cancel and do anything, you're able to block. Same thing with those options. We'll do down for 3. Cross jab. So as you can tell, on hit, you're able to do a whole lot. Not so much on hit, can't really do too much. Now I'm going to go into down 1. Now down 1 is only neutral. However, you're still crouched, as you can see. And you can either choose to do, if you want to, just do nothing. You can back up, or you can sidestep to the background. You know, you can do full crouch down forward 1, or for another option, wall rising 1. Now Steve's wall rising 1 is very fast. Matter of fact, it's 11 frames, and it comes out just as fast as most people's magic 4. So, can people interrupt you from it? Yes, but what they can interrupt with you is very minor. I'm gonna use law for an example. I'm going to record this. Down 1, while rising 1. Now, law can interrupt this a little kind of bad. Let's find out. Bam. Now, I would further dread it down 2-3 from law. And as you can see, that jab trades. Now, if I do down back 1, it'll beat it out because it's still faster than that. And if I go for a jab, it'll beat it out. Same thing with a magic 4, it'll trade. But anything else past that is going to beat it out. Law standing 3's 12. Gonna beat that out. Law's down 4's 1. Gonna beat that out. And of course, other subsequent stuff. Down 4-2 gets beat out. And other options get beat out. So you can see here that from down 1, you can choose to be still. You can choose to move. You can try to bait out with while rising 1. And there's also the follow-ups while rising 1-1, while rising 1-2. And a lot of those options right there, those are low risk options, low to medium if you try to go in further past that. But a lot of times really don't have to. So now I'm going to go into back 1. The good old dreaded back 1 for Steve Fox. Now I'm just going to do back 1 into flicker. Now most people don't realize that Steve players have to go into flicker to make that move safe. Because if I just do it by itself, that's flicker. Let's do it by itself. Bam. That's still flicker. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, force of habit. Let's see what this punish meter says. Alright, so that's 12 frame. Let's see here. Let's lost 13 up there. Wow. 14? No, alright, there. Alright, so down 14, that's not a punish. Alright, so that's 14 on punish. But most Steve players are never going to do back 1 and not go into flicker to make it safe. Now here's what happens when you go into back 1 and make it safe, and I'm going to follow up with flicker 1. Alright, so now a jab's going to beat it out. Get that slight disadvantage. Magic 4 will beat it out. But down 4-3 does not beat it out. Let me down 4-1. Down 4-1 is 13 frames. That's not beating that out. Now I'm going to do a 12 frame, standing 3. That'll beat it out. But anything else other than that, it's not going to beat that out. That's standing. Now you can high crush it, but just in general, if you're trying to immediately attack him standing, that's your best bet is very minimal. Now Law's lucky to be able to catch him with that, but some characters are not so lucky. Now next I'm going to go into Steve's down 2-1. Now down 2-1 is a quick 2-piece that doesn't jail and is not guaranteed on normal hit. However, it's an annoying poke because you have to block low and then go back to standing block. But the purpose of this is just really to annoy and to get in, because after down 2-1 you can sway if you choose to. But most Steve players use it to get in by ducking and then canceling out of their duck. And so now he doesn't have no advantage on it, on hit or block if you block the second hit. However, it just frustrates people, and people tend to try to launch you or do stuff, and really you're just trying to do that to bait. Case in point, I'm going to do down 2-1 duck cancel to make it safe. Now notice I try to go for that, and the Steve was able to block after that because the duck cancel was tight. Now I'm gonna go for the crouch jab. Yep, I was fast enough to do it. Now keep in mind with Steve, you have to be tight on the inputs for your duck cancels to make stuff safe. If not, you will get launched. Now let me do my duck cancel not tight, and this is what happens to you. Same scenario. Or too slow. Too slow. Let's see. Let's try this. I did that way too slow. There we go. Now next I'm going to cover 112 for Steve. Now 112 does 29 damage for a 10 frame punish. So, yeah, he has a slight frame advantage. And also you can sway after it. Zoomed up. Now 112. As a Steve player, you have certain options you can do if you think they're going to press anything. For example, after 112, you can down forward 2 since they're going to sidestep. You can do 1-2-1 since they're going to press forward. You can back 1. You can down forward 1. You can down 1. Now these are both low risk options depending on your opponent, but sometimes you might get blown up depending on how they're playing you. Now these options are really just to limit your opponent and to frustrate them, and for them to eat the counter hit follow-ups from you. See, case in point, I'm going to do 1-1-2, and I'm going to go for down forward 2, and let's see what happens. I'm going to reset the recording. 1-1-2, down forward 2. Now we're going to go 1 hit. Now, even though I was slight advantage on hit, I still ate that dreaded long setup. Down 2-3. Not pleasant whatsoever. Now, if I want to take a safe option after that, well, that is safe, but more safe option, I'm going to do 1-2 and then down forward 1. Let's try this again. 1-2, picks him up. Try it again. 1-2, bam, picks him up. Now they can sidestep that if they want to, but that's just an option if you think someone's going to press the button after it. Really you can just get the gist of just filling out the person. Now 1-1-2 on block is like -9, -8. Don't quote me, but you don't really have advantage. You can duck, cancel, but usually people 1-1-2 with Steve mainly for the punishment. That's about it. So right now with Steve, I went over a few options that you. Oh yeah. Last but not least, for the time being, down forward 1-2-1. I did down forward 1. I'm going to cover down forward 1-2-1. Now I can show you better. I can tell you for a brief moment. Down forward 1-2-1 has a similar risk as the other ones. Faster moves can beat it out. Anything outside of that is going to be countered. So we're going to record. We're going to do down for 1-2-1, 1, down 1. Now on block, bam, Magic 4 beat it out. Standing 3 will beat it out. That's 2. But that's back 4, which is 14. That does not beat it out. If I go further, down 4-2 won't beat it out. If you sidestep to Steve's right, however, if you do it too late, you get hit. Still not worth it. So as you can tell, a lot of the options that Law have, of course he has that, but as far as standard punishment, it's either jabs or Magic 4. Foul. 4. Everything else, standing wise, gets popped. Now let's cover. Let's see. I covered down for 1-2-1, 1-1-2, down 2-1, down 4-2, 1-2-1. Just a brief options. Now, as far as putting this together for a general offensive base. Now, I'm going to switch back. I'm glad we got simple select this time around. I'm going to switch back to Steve. I'm going to bring back to Law. Just like using that Law practice mode. I also like using Law and a few other characters for punishment purposes. Brief moment. Alright, Now, as far as stringing just a little bit of that together, I would like people to keep in mind about offense is that offense is, number one, you don't have to constantly maintain offense. You're not going to be able to do that. If you, as you can see earlier, you know, certain moves you can still hit people out of. I'm gonna set this to block. That just bothers me. Sorry about that. We're gonna do stand. You know, even though Steve has quick options and he's taking low risk, he's still taking a risk. If you get too happy, as you saw earlier with down 2-3s from Law, certain moves, you can get popped and you can still get hurt. But the beauty of this character is that you're forcing your opponent to take minimum risk, and if they step out of that boundary, they risk eating counter hits. Like counter hit 1-2-1 does a nice chunk of damage. Even counter hit down 2-1 does 23 damage. And that's, you know, that's not bad for a quick poke. Of course, you know, you have your of course, you know, you have your back one. Wow. Terrible combo. But you have down 4-2 to get in. You have down 3, down 2-1 to annoy. You have your jabs. You have down 4-1 and the different properties you can do. You can no duck cancel, make it safe. Down 4-1-2-1 if you think they're gonna stand up. Because that second hit can be ducked, so don't do that too much. A lot of people are seasoned and knowing to look for that with Steve. But as long as you're sticking and moving and understanding that not to fully go in when you're playing someone, Steve is very annoying to deal with. Another thing about offense, especially with Steve, is that all damage stacks up. Don't feel bad if you're missing out on combos so much, because Steve's punishment for launching is not that great, but he's going to make up for it and just knocking away chips of health away. Where the jabs down 4-1, down 4-2, as you can tell from earlier, a lot of those options are very limited by your opponent. They really have to buckle down and guess what's a good option for them to do. If they step out of that, that's what you want. Now this here was just a brief video to give us some general options about Steve and offensively. Now there's a lot of extra stuff to go by, but I don't want to bombard people. And also this is my first go around trying to introduce this. Gradually over time, I will introduce more options with Steve and other characters. Because I feel a lot of people struggle with dealing with offense or dealing with people that press buttons. We have all the info out now, with spacing, with punishment, but people seem to get really salty about someone doing something. Slick Center is signing off with just a small reminder, you know, advantage is not guaranteed. Everything is a gamble.